This is time for questions, comments, challenges, protests. And they could be as general as like, why do we meditate on the breath? Or as specific as, you said this word, what does that word mean in this context? Or why does the Buddha have floppy earlobes? Or, so, go right ahead. Or how do I know when I'm meditating or not meditating? So the question was, perhaps I can share some, I'm going to see if I can get this because it blew my dang mind. Perhaps I can share some insights on how one might be conquer or penetrate or dissolve paralyzing self-doubt and be creative in a more free and open way while still producing quality work.
Maintaining a critical eye.
Maintaining a critical eye. Okay.
Sorry to hit you with that dwell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a grocery store worker. That's my real job. This is just I do for fun because I like meditation. My real job is stacking potatoes, and I love it. Or Kari knows it's usually bottles of water these days. But I would say that I of course don't know what your specific employment, workplace dynamic is. However, for me, the most important things demand the lightest touch. Things that are really important, like life and death and love, bondage, liberation, suffering, happiness. The way to attend to them is as if you were cradling, and this is our practice too. Imagine cradling like a robin's egg in your hands, and you have to run at breakneck speed through a mall on a shopping day like Black Friday or Christmas or something. And you have to hold it tight enough so as not to drop it, but you easily smash it if you hold it too tight. This is like everything important in our lives demand our utmost attention, focus, clarity, insight, wisdom, kindness, equanimity. But they're far too serious, far too important to be taken seriously. So if you can, to me, this is what's bringing up in me is, if you can find a way, even microsecond by microsecond, to play whatever you do, can you do it with a spirit of play, with curiosity? Because, to a beginner, to a child, there are no wrong answers. And of course that makes for, and I mean, you can see where that would, problems lead to. But that spirit of play, that's where the master lives. That's where the true master lives, is everything becomes play, everything becomes a dance, everything becomes a lovemaking. It's like, and that's how the masters practice. And then in the beginning, they're very, you have to sit like this, you have to hold your hands like this, like this. But hopefully, over time, you'll see that the cushion is, that's not where meditation happens. This is not where meditation happens. Meditation happens out there when someone calls you an asshole. And, what? How dare you? I'll show you. Oh, there you are again. Oh, sorry, there I am again. And I'm caught. Meditation happens in all those little interactions, microsecond by microsecond. And can I return to that spirit of play? Every single person, every single task, every single breath is utterly ungraspable. How miraculous, how laughable that we would take any of this seriously. I am as if already dead. Like, how long was I not born? And once I'm dead, how long will I be dead? It's less than a hair's breadth away. So the idea that I would tie myself into knots over anything, including, what did I do today? I had some whole flip out about something. It was so silly. And over time it just gets shorter and shorter. So my sage advice, which is utterly, totally not practical because I don't know the practicalities of your workspace and your relationship to your own creativity, is to find a way to bring play and curiosity into it and lower the stakes for you personally. May it serve you. Let me know how it works out for you. I think Rob has something to say to that.
Just kind of as a comment.
Rob Neese had the brilliant comment that he says, oh, it sounds like you're making a duality between creativity and your critical eye. And no, you're not.
No, that's not
The paralyzing self-criticism?
Correct.
Okay, while maintaining a critical eye.
Correct.
Right, but that to me still speaks of a duality, that you want to be able to break through this self-criticism, but maintain this critical eye.
Correct.
So, so the critical eye, Rob, what I heard Rob say was, you can't lose that. It's what you bring to the table, and just opening more to what you bring to the table, and from a spirit of play and relaxation. I mean, both of you, everything you guys just said over there was, I have nothing better to add. Thank you.
Just to tack on, one of the most profound things that you've helped me with,
Oh, damn.
inadvertently with a couple that your Saturday classes, just sit back and watch the show. I was like, oh my God, there it is. Thank you. But it falls within that.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for a dollop of emptiness can really help. Like I was talking about earlier when I said, follow the breathing. And it's so funny that we say things like, I'm breathing. Like, oh, are you? That's a whole, I was listening to an Alan Watts was a lot of people's intro into this kind of stuff for many, many years. And he's primarily an entertainer. He's a crack up. He has this great quote where he gets a whole room of really, I can just imagine the suits. This is 60s England, and gets a whole room full of people. And he's like, oh, are you breathing? Are you opening your alveoli and transferring oxygen and carbon dioxide? Oh, you're doing all that? That's so interesting. Like, how wonderful that you can control these. No, you're doing none of that. You're being breathed. And I just love that, that in any amount can be so valuable. But, okay, so putting a pin in that, thank you to all three. And again, anything I say, it is my aspiration that it is of service, and if it's not, it's what I say, free advice is worth every penny. So, anybody else?